Welcome back to the December edition of Conversation with Archbishop Kurtz. And I want to welcome Eva Gonzalez. Eva, thank you so much for being here in this second segment.
Nice to be here with you, and thanks for having me here.
Thanks, Eva. Let me tell people a little bit about you. Eva actually grew up in California. She's been working with the Archdiocese of Louisville now in Hispanic ministry for 10 years. It's hard to believe it's 10 years. Her husband, Francisco, and her two sons are members of Annunciation Parish in Shelbyville. And you're the first diocesan director of Hispanic ministry. You've been working in Hispanic ministry as part of the Office of Multicultural Ministry, and boy, are we grateful for all those years. But this summer we began the first ever Office for Hispanic Ministry with the Archdiocese, where it's its own office. So yes. You're a trailblazer, and I want to thank you for that. What got you here? What got you to move towards being involved in ministry and ministry within the Archdiocese?
Well, Archbishop, it has been a little bit more than 10 years. One day I was at Mass, at Sunday Mass, and
was this in
at Annunciation, and the pastor made the invitation to all the faithful to help out as catechists. He was in need of catechists for the CCD, and I was kind of hesitant about it, but you have seen my husband. He accompanied me everywhere, and he poked on me, and he was like, "Why don't you help out?"
Did he nudge you
yes.
in the pew? Okay.
And I was like, "Well, I'm not sure about it. I don't think I can do it." But I kept thinking about it, and he asked me again, and I think that I was really needing that push from him, and I just signed up. I went to the DRE, I spoke with her, and that's where my journey starts.
Wow. So the Holy Spirit worked through your good husband. We'll have to send him a thank you card. That's wonderful. And just think of how progressively you then became involved with Hispanic ministry on an archdiocesan level. You've of course become a board member of CEPI, which is the whole southeast part of the whole United States. And tell us a little bit about how you've become involved now, even beyond the Archdiocese.
Well, I started taking, after that, I started taking some courses, the courses that the Archdiocese offers through the catechist program. Then I took some courses with the University of Dayton. And once I started with the full-time job, because I did a little bit of teaching Spanish before that, and that was actually part of one of the action steps for the Hispanic plan for the Archdiocese in teaching Spanish. And once I started with the full-time job, I started getting much more involved, getting to know more the communities. And once I became the director, I still got to get to know more people at other levels, meaning at the regional level with the people from the Southeast Pastoral Institute, and as of now also with other directors from other regions. So I'm also happy to be on the board of the National Catholic Association of Diocesan Directors for Hispanic Ministry.
That's good. Yeah, you're on two different boards, and really you were very much involved in the whole process of the Encuentro, huh?
Yes.
That was a nationwide planning.
Yes,
about the church's response to the gifts and also the need for help of Latino families.
Yes, it's a long process. We are almost at the end of it. It has been almost 4 years of this ecclesial process of reflection, consultation, of missionary activity.
Well, I got to tell you, you from the beginning have a very great heart, a warmth in reaching out to others, a desire to help others. That comes through even right now. But you also have grown so much in your professionalism and in your capacity to be able to be a real leader. So we really are blessed for that. What about locally? Your office is now at St. Rita. Have you moved in all right?
Yes.
And what are you doing? What are some things that the people would like to know about as far as Hispanic ministry within the Archdiocese of Louisville?
Well, as you know, right now we are still in challenging times with the pandemic, but we are trying to do our best, and this is by offering webinars to the people that they can look at. Also, having them informed about the formation programs that are offered from universities online, so that they can take advantage of it during these challenging times. We are also continue having the people informed with updated information on COVID. We are working on a career readiness program for our young people.
Oh.
And yes, we have a group of young people that for the first time is working through CEPI in writing the book of Easter that you well know.
I'm familiar with that. Sure, I'm familiar
Yes.
with it. Oh, very good.
It's a very good resource. So we're trying to do our best. We are also in conversation with another diocese. So we will have to collaborate, and we will have a virtual events.
Well, listen, the presence of Latino families within the Archdiocese, it's true of the whole United States, but within our Archdiocese, the leadership has grown and the presence has grown. You know what I was excited about is you were very much a part of the planning that included over 20 of our priests. And I credit Brian Reynolds and Tink Guthrie for being part of the bringing together of our priests to say, okay, we need on a diocesan level to work together. That's what resulted in your office actually being begun. So I was so pleased that was a grassroots movement, and it also connected you so strongly with so many of our priests who are working day in and day out with many of the Latino families throughout the Archdiocese within parishes. So that's also been a wonderful connection with you, hasn't it been, with your assisting and supporting the priests and parish leaders in the way in which a ministry that includes Latino gifts as well as service is growing within the Archdiocese.
Yes, it has been, Archbishop, and actually that study planning that was done with our pastors locally, we find out, this is one of the insights that I have, is that the people wanted to stay at the parishes where they are at, to continue having Mass celebrated in Spanish, so they can continue serving, participating at the parishes, and not just having one place of worship.
Yeah.
So this is a huge insight that I gained from this study planning, and I want to highlight the good heart of our pastors in doing this because they gather. It was their willingness to gather because they saw the need that the Hispanic community has.
Yeah, and of course we're so grateful to Father Joe Rankin, who served as the first vicar for Hispanic ministry, working with priests, and now Father Michael Tobin, who's now the new pastor of St. Rita, working with you. Thank you for mentioning that. When I go around for confirmations, of course, there's not a parish that doesn't have a strong Latino presence, and that's a great gift for the church. The church is ever changing, and yet we're always the same in many ways. Christ is still present, and we've always sought to bring out the gifts of people as they come forward. Your leadership in doing that is great. If you had to have one or two hopes for the future, we only have a little bit of time left, what would you say, Eva?
I will say to have more participation, more involvement of the Hispanic community in the life of the church.
Yeah.
That we continue reaching out to those who are inactive, to accompany those in need, that what we have in our hearts at this time of pandemic, the love, the compassion for the people, the concern for each other, that remains in our hearts when things get better, so that we can be a beacon of hope for those whom we will encounter in our journeys.
That's excellent. Well, we are blessed to have you as the first director for the Office of Hispanic Ministry as a diocesan office, and thank you for working so well with so many people. Thank you also, those of you who have been viewing this, for viewing us and being part of conversations for this December edition, and we hope you'll stay tuned for the final segment.